Hey y'all, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and I'm going to be talking about Billie and Mary Lou Black and their case. In the state of Kansas, the state's first silver alert was triggered on September 12th of 2009 when 74-year-old Billie and 62-year-old Mary Lou Black vanished from their Atchison, Kansas home. A silver alert is a public notification system in the United States that broadcasts details about missing senior citizens, particularly those with dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Research has shown that 6 out of 10 people with Alzheimer's disease will wander off at least once. That is some pretty scary numbers right there. 6 in 10 people with Alzheimer's will wander off at least once. If they aren't recovered within 24 hours, the results can and are usually fatal. It was 8:15 in the morning on September 11th of 2009 when the couple drove off in their light blue 4-door 1990 Honda Civic. The following day, when their son was unable to get a hold of them, he drove over to their house to check on them. Inside the house, he found their driver's license, a checkbook, cash. In the refrigerator was Billie's insulin, which he had to take every day, being that he had severe diabetes. Billie also had trouble both seeing and walking. The Blacks had been married for more than 50 years. Billie was in the Air Force and had been an electrical engineer for many years before moving on to home remodeling. Mary Lou was a teacher and did clerical work for an insurance company before retiring in 2002. Some years later, however, she began to suffer from Alzheimer's disease and would occasionally wander off from their home. She would walk up the residential streets looking into people's mailboxes. Sometimes she would let herself in, sit down on the sofa, and say, "I'm home." Despite searching by air and foot, police were unable to find any trace of the couple or their vehicle. Although numerous sightings were called in, none of them could ever be verified. After a couple of days with no sighting of Billie and Mary Lou Black, rumors began to swirl that perhaps their disappearance was deliberate. The couple were in ill health, and Billie had once remarked to their son when they went to look at a nursing home that it would be better if he and his wife just weren't around. Billie knew all too well what awaited Mary Lou. He had seen his own mother and mother-in-law suffer from Alzheimer's as well. Police now suspect that Billie deliberately drove their vehicle into the Missouri River. In the years that have passed since they vanished, the police have dredged the river and nearby lakes on numerous occasions. Though they have found several cars during their searches, none of them belong to Billie and Mary Lou Black. Mary Lou is 5'1", weighs 115 pounds with gray hair and brown eyes, 72 years old. Billie, 74 years old, 6 foot tall, 190 pounds. Gray hair, brown eyes, and Billie does go by his middle name, Bob. And again, the vehicle they were in is a light blue 4-door 1990 Honda Civic with the Kansas license plate number AWX605. The vehicle has paint missing from the hood and a loud exhaust system which dangles from the undercarriage. Billie and Mary grew up together in Orick, Missouri, and graduated high school there. Billie went to engineering school, joined the Air Force, and eventually became a plant manager at the Atchison aluminum factory. Mary attended the University of Central Missouri and later taught school. They had one son together. By the time of their disappearances, both Billie and Mary had severe health problems. Billie was stressed from having to care for Mary and again told their son it would be better for him if his parents weren't around. Authorities and members of the Blacks family believe that they are no longer alive. One theory is that they drove accidentally or intentionally into the Missouri River. Little evidence is available in their cases, however, and their disappearance remain unsolved. Now, if you remember, Adventures with Purpose was in Atchison, Kansas, and they were sonaring for Billie and Mary Lou Black. They put their boat in at the boat ramps up around Atchison, and they sonared several areas, and they did not find any answers to this case. We do have several areas of interest that we will be searching. Some of these are ponds that we will need to sonar. Some of these are small bridges on like back roads that we will need to go take a look at to see if it's possible that they may have, accidentally or intentionally driven off somewhere like that and just haven't been seen. But we do have multiple locations, a lot of creeks, and a week from this Saturday, we will be in Atchison, Kansas, sonaring for Billie and Mary Black. I've got 2 ponds that are definite that we will be sonaring, and then several small bridges we will be driving to get eyes on to see if it's possible. If we feel that it is, we will be contacting the property owner and trying to gain permission to go on the property and be able to search it better. I know many of these times when we look at these small bridges on Google Earth, through Google Earth or satellite imaging, they can look really, really thick. A lot of underbrush, thick trees. But when you get out there and you're ground level, most of the time it's not near as thick as what it looks like on satellite imaging. So if the ponds are clear, we will be driving out to several of these bridges. And this one, going along the lines that this is intentional, that with the health problems, the health issues that they're going through, knowing what the future holds with that, if they decided to, go out together, I'm having a hard time believing they would have chose the Missouri River. Me personally, suicide's never the answer, regardless. That's my opinion here. But I want to say this. For a husband and a wife that had been married for more than 50 years with these health problems, if they sat down and have that conversation and make that decision to do this, this is a very, very intimate situation. This ain't something that they're going to, let's just go in the river, end it, and be done. I don't look at this as anybody would do that with that mindset. If this was intentional, I believe this would have been a very intimate decision, and a location would have been at least discussed that would be close but secluded. Close but still a beautiful area. And, I'm not saying that this was intentional. I am seeing a lot of stuff in this case that does make me lean that direction, but not enough to say, hey, this is what happened. At the end of the day, we are going to be out sonaring. We are going to be out searching for Billie Bob and Mary Lou Black. Our thoughts and prayers are with their son and his family and everybody that knew them. It's so sad that in today's day and age, with how far medical has come, science has come, it hurts to know there's people out there with medical issues who eventually get to the point that they think this is the answer, that this is going to be better. It's just heartbreaking. He was an Air Force veteran, and going through their resume, this is a couple that worked hard all their lives. Looking at this, it's all they knew was hard work and being together. So we will be out sonaring a week from this Saturday. Our members, this will be available for you Friday. So those of you who are not members on the channel, but the rest of our followers, when you see this, it will actually be Sunday, so it will be 6 days before we'll be out sonaring. But those of you that pray, believe in God and all of that, I want to ask you to please send up a prayer for us that God will lead us to the area where they're at to help us bring them home. It's time for them to come home. Regardless of the situation, it's time for them to be home. With that, until next time, you guys stay safe.